William Morrow and HarperAudio present The House of Frost and Feathers, a novel by Lauren Wiesebron, performed by Daphne Kouma. To my parents, for pretending not to notice when I read late at night. Chapter 1. The sleeping plague was still 9 months away, but the frenzied anticipation had already begun. Marisha passed a family as she hurried to her interview. The mother and children wore large vials of stoppered yellow water around their necks, surely believing the liquid had otherworldly protective powers. Probably diluted tea. Or worse. Marisha tried to turn a blind eye to the signs of shabbiness that had overcome Severny as the plague year approached. Doors boarded up, garbage strewn in the snow, and everywhere people hurried in the streets without making eye contact with each other. The only places where the throng seemed to congregate were around those sham koldunya, hawking their most potent hail water for warding off the sleeping plague. Marisha turned her face away from one such street corner, her chest tightening uncontrollably. Ow! She clutched her head. She had been so keen on avoiding the crowd gathered around a koldunya, brandishing a glowing bottle, that she had run into a lamppost. Fantastic. Now she would have to be interviewed with a great big bruise across her forehead. The corners of her lips flitted up as she imagined explaining, I was attacked by a lamppost. Then she remembered how important the interview was for her immediate future, and her smile vanished. Despite countless letters sent and hours spent knocking on doors of the remaining open businesses, the interview for the clerk position was the only opportunity she had been able to secure. Openings that accepted female applicants were rare in the best of times, and now, with koldunya stirring up superstitions about inviting the plague along with strangers into one's home, even advertisements for governesses had disappeared. Without a salary and a place to live, she would have no choice but to accept whatever repulsive husband Aunt Lyubov drummed up for her. A spike of fear at the prospect momentarily displaced her attention from the painful aftershock radiating from her forehead. A poster was stuck to the lamppost. It was too colourful for winter. Bright blue letters against a large block of orange. Marisha leaned in closer. The block of orange was a drawing of a house, and the blue letters read, Applicants wanted. Then beneath it was written, Baba Zima koldunya, and must be a young lady of quality, intelligent, ambitious, and willing to travel. Generous compensation. She quelled the small spark of hope that had lit up at the sight of the phrase, applicants wanted. Working for koldunya was unthinkable. Koldunya did nothing to help ease people's troubles. All they did was ease the desperate of their money. They couldn't ward away the sleeping plague. They couldn't change someone's fate. Marisha had been standing still for too long. She'd be late. She hurried along to her interview, pushing the garishly orange drawing of the house from her mind. It was easy to spot the company offering the clerkship. A lump formed in Marisha's throat as she did her best not to count the people waiting in line at the door. She tried to rearrange her hair to cover the bruise that was surely blooming across her forehead. The lump in her throat grew bigger and bigger the closer she made it to the door. The interview went terribly. Marisha knew it. The portly man interviewing her knew it too. He barely glanced her way when he dismissed her and started tidying the papers on his desk. Perhaps determined to show she did not care about the interview's outcome, she asked the man if he had seen an orange house in the city. He looked surprised, as though he had already expected her to have left the room.
I heard there's an orange house come to the Poets' Square, but I haven't seen it.
The man frowned at Marisha.
Why do you ask? It may truly be Baba Zima's house, and she's not to be trifled with.
The man had said Baba Zima as though it were a name of great significance. He looked at her differently now, with curiosity and a bit of fear, while a moment ago she had been something to glaze over. This merchant seemed to think that if she wanted to visit Baba Zima to buy a remedy, she was willing to take a big risk. She would not get a job out.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?